Hello, my name is Craig Conti, heretofore known as Wise Guy. I found out about this group by picking up Neil Strauss's book, The Game.
The way I got into it is I read The Game, and this is basically all the steps broken down to details.
Before I got the book, I never even thought you could go up to a woman and just start talking to her.
I knew that there was something that I was missing. I didn't know what it was. When I read the book, The Game, I realized that I was finally on to what that final part of the puzzle is.
I came out here, met some fantastic guys, everybody willing to help, everybody kind of in the same boat as me, similar problems, similar stories.
We went out, we used the material, and it worked like a charm.
And this is going to change my life in so many ways. I mean, I already have so much more confidence. I can talk to women and men. I feel like even at work or when I'm relating with anybody, it's going to help.
It's so adaptable. It can work for anyone in any situation, from a loud dance club to a quiet bookstore to your work environment to any interactions with people. It's not even just your interactions with women.
It's an invaluable experience in my life that I think is going to change my life, not only in pickup and seduction, just life in general.
Look, I'm 43, and the girl that was attracted to me was 20, and come on, that's just crazy.
Made out with a girl, got several phone numbers, all kinds of keno.
I went out and I was opening sets and I was meeting new people and having amazing conversations with women that I had just met. In 2 nights I wound up meeting and making out with girls that I had just met, something I had never done in my life.
So we're not talking just about women here, but it's about having the ability to bring whatever you want into your life.
I'm not going to tell you guys about my background because you already know it. You read the book, so there's no need to tell you that. You know, all you really need to know, and why I sort of decided to do this, is, you know, I went from the world's worst to AFC, like really, really hopeless, despite having all the advantages in the world of a nice job, going to rock concerts with backstage passes and getting no action, no interactions with women whatsoever that were good, to joining this community, spending maybe a year and a half learning it under the wings of the greatest guys, to becoming judged by many of them the best pickup artists in the community. And when I did that, there were some guys who I started out with who followed me along this whole course, and they didn't get good. They got a little bit better, yet I went that much further. So what I've spent the last sort of month doing is breaking down all those tools that enabled me to go from total AFC to pug, from average frustrated chump to pickup guru, and to give them to you guys. So I've kind of broken things down, and I'm going to start off with a little bit of theory, and we all know theory is kind of the boring part because we want the nuts and bolts of what to say and do because that's interesting. But what I found was when I started this, I wanted the routines, the openers, the lines, and when I got deeper into it and I started getting good at it, then I wanted the theory and the big ideas. So you guys are all going to go home with this DVD of this. So later on, you're going to want to go back to the theory parts and learn those. Also, I'm going to blitz you with some routines. I'm just going to do one after another, probably tomorrow. And just relax, enjoy, and watch the performance. And you can watch them on video later and, you know, fast forward, rewind, and get them all down. Because I'll just give you guys the tools that you're going to need to go out tonight, plus the tools that you're going to need so you can just keep watching this and getting it all in there. Because I'm going to try and download everything I've learned into your guys' heads. So it's going to be a pretty cool week. And I'm really psyched because we're not just going to change what you say and what you do and how you act. We're also going to change the way you look. So I want to get a good look at yourselves now, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll see how far we can go and how far you're willing to change, because I don't want to make anyone do anything they feel isn't them. At the same time, if what is you hasn't been working, there's no reason to, not to change it. I actually, with Ross Jeffries, I worked on him for a while physically. Like, we had him grow these cool sideburns and dress a little bit differently, and he snapped back to who he used to be. And it happens with guys, and it's something to watch out for. I call it AFC reversion syndrome. You start to get good at it, and you're getting these changes, and then you get lazy and you think, oh, you know what, I'm pretty cool after all. I have this to begin with, and that's true. and then you let go of everything you learned and snap back to who you were. And I've seen it happen with about half the guys who get great. So it's sort of a pitfall to watch out for. The other thing I noticed was that the guys who didn't improve, then there were the guys who they go out and they'd learn all their routines. They'd have their routines like on their MP3 player and play them all the time. And they knew every technique. They knew the names of all the puas. They knew all the system. They had it all down. They'd go out 4 nights a week, and yet they still wouldn't be having girlfriends or even having much or any sex. And so it made me realize that, well, there's more to it than that. And that's sort of what, when we discuss the annihilation method, to me it's like a complete method. The idea is, Matt came up with the term when we were talking about it, because what I wanted to do is give you something to annihilate all the competition. And so to me, pickup is this simple idea. It's who you are, what you do, and when and how you do it. That's all you're really going to be learning, that simple bit. You know, who you are, what you do, and when and how you do it. That's all we're going to be learning, but each of those things has so many sub-steps and so many little parts. You know, and for who you are, I'm going to teach you kind of 8 pieces that constitute an attractive guy. And I'm also going to teach you for what you do, I'm going to teach you a complete linear method full of routines for each step. And for when and how you do it, that's what they call calibration. Those guys who go out and doing the routines, you got to know, you got to be, you know, like a stand-up comedian. A good stand-up comedian has to be smarter than his audience, because you got to stay one step ahead of them. It's the same thing. You have to be smarter, and more socially aware than the men and women you're going to be interacting with. So that's what we're going to try and give you, and the tools to learn that. I'm going to start off because I did a lot of interviews for the book when they came out, and I keep getting these cliches thrown in my face that are just so not true from experience. The fact is, when I was learning this, I'd always wanted to fix my problems with women. When I was in college, I had like a duffel bag in my room, and it was hidden, and it was every dating book I could ever find, how to flirt, how to meet women, books from the 50s, the 60s, because I always knew this was a problem in my life. And all the advice was just horrible because they're theories. They came from people's experiences. Maybe they were good with women, so they made up a theory, or that they interviewed a bunch of women. But everything you're going to learn now came from field experience. And it may be counterintuitive, but it's stuff that not only I've done hundreds or thousands of times, but in some cases shared with other guys who went out and did them hundreds and thousands of times. So this is real stuff that's field tested. And the 2 biggest cliches that I kind of hate about the whole dating industry, and that I hate about women's advice, the first one is just be yourself. Right? You guys all hear that, just be yourself. But you know what? Like this thing that we present on the outside, sometimes we don't, that's not ourself. You know, inside we know we're special. Inside we know we're smart. Inside we know we're cool. Inside we know our friends like us and laugh at our jokes and have great times with us and love us. And then we present to someone this boring, bland shell that they're not interested in. That's not ourself. So my theory is just be your best self. And for some of us here, well, you got to find your best self first in order to be. So I use this every time with every woman. I either use it early on, or use it later on when it's sort of time to get intimate, to sort of isolate and have a deep connection. So I use this in almost every set at some point or another. So I'm just showing them a personality exercise, and it's called a cube. Have you ever heard of it before? Okay, it's really cool. Yeah, you can sit down. So the cube is it's a personality exercise basically, and there's nothing. All you have to do is I'm going to tell you to imagine some things, and just imagine them, and I'll tell you what they mean afterward.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So just imagine like an empty, all-white room.
Okay.
Cool. You can tell she's imagining, by the way, because when she thinks, her eyes go up and to the right, which is the visual part of the brain. So you can actually tell you're picturing the visual image, which is cool. So in that room, put a cube.
Okay.
See the cube?
Mm-hmm. Is it white as well?
What's that?
Is it white?
Whatever you want it to be.
Okay.
You're on your own. Is it big or is it small?
It's big.
Cool. And are you facing, is it on the ground or is it floating?
It's on the ground.
It's on the ground. And are you facing a flat side or a corner?
It's in the middle of the room.
But are you facing a flat side of the cube or a corner of the cube?
I'm sorry. I'm facing a corner.
Cool. And is it transparent? Can you see through it, or is it solid?
It's solid.
Any particular color or design?
It's white, like the room.
Right, like the room. Cool. All right, add to this picture now a ladder.
Okay.
See the ladder?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, where's the ladder in the room?
It is on the left-hand side on the wall.
So it's against the wall, not against the cube. Okay.
It's long.
Is it high or is it low? How tall is it?
It's high.
Really high. And if you wanted to climb it, easy or hard?
Easy. Yeah.
Easy.
Be careful with ladders. That's all.
Okay, cool. That actually tells me a lot.
Okay.
What's next? Oh yeah, picture some flowers.
Okay.
See the flowers? You see a few or a lot?
A lot.
Okay, cool. Where are they?
They're on the cube.
All right, are they all one kind, different kinds?
They're all one kind.
And describe them just a little bit to me.
They're yellow,
Okay.
long stemmed, like lilies.
Okay, yellow long stem lilies. And when you see them, what's your first thought? What do they make you feel?
They're pretty.
Pretty. Okay, cool.
They're different because they're not roses.
Awesome. All right, that's cool. All that information actually helps. You see how screwed up you are. So, add to this picture now a horse.
Okay.
You see the horse? Where is it?
It's right by the cube,
what's
looking
it?
at the flowers.
Just looking at the flowers. And what's it doing?
Just wagging its tail.
It's just wagging its tail, just chilling. All right, and if you wanted to give me 3 words that describe the personality of this horse, what would they be?
He's calm. He's comfortable. And he's aware of his surroundings, but he's at the same time just hanging out, being a horse.
Cool. All right, last thing. Add to the picture a storm.
Okay.
See the storm? Is it violent or gentle?
It is. It's outside of the room. You can see through the window.
Right.
So you can't. But it's quiet in the room, so you can't really hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
And is it fucking shit up, or is it just chilling?
It's no, it's not. It's not fucking shit up. It's just
There.
yeah. It's a quiet storm.
All right, cool. Like the radio station.
Yes.
Do you want to know what all this means?
Yeah.
Okay, I just made it up. It's just a joke. Are you mad? You can go outside now.
Okay.
So that's the cube got. No, I'm kidding. It actually means something.
Okay.
But I will add in that joke, though. So it's really cool. I love those personality games where, like, you know, you're running in the forest and this and that.
Okay.
But to me, this is the only one that's really accurate a lot of the time. It's the only one I like that is true for some reason.
Okay.
There's a book you can get called The Cube, but I did it, and just through field experiments, I changed it around a little bit. I actually feel this version is better. So this is the version I'm going to go with. The cube is your self-image. It's how you see yourself. Okay. So even though you're sort of shy with, like, kind of closed-in body language, you have a very healthy ego.
Is that what it means?
No, yeah, no, seriously. Like, people with a small cube are very insecure. And sometimes that, like, guy strutting around the club who just looks like he's so full of himself, he might have a small cube because that strutting is just a sign of his insecurity.
Okay.
So you, even though you're kind of like, have very kind of withdrawn, drawn-in body language, inside you think you're the shit. And that's not wrong. I think that's healthy. Okay. So you have a big cube. It's on the ground. It's interesting because very creative people have floating cubes. People on the ground are practical day-to-day people.
Okay.
But here's the saving grace, which is you're facing a corner of the cube. So people who's facing the flat side of the cube, that's sort of average. The corner is like the visionary cube. So you've got a good combination of the day-to-day, you know, practical things. You can get to places on time, except here today. But that was my fault. I called you late. That was my fault. So you can get to places on time. You can show up. You're a schedule person. But at the same time, you have kind of ethereal, visionary, artistic quality to you at the same time. So it's a cool balance. People whose cubes are see-through, their heart's on their sleeve. You can tell everything you need to know about them right away. Okay. People whose are solid, like yours, are a little harder to get. You know, you're a little bit more protective. Someone has to get to know you pretty well to find out what's really there. But at the same time, it's white, so you have a certain openness. It's almost white, like a reflective openness. You reflect the other person you're talking to. You're very good like that. So it's like a little slippery. They think they're knowing you, but they don't really know you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
The cube is awesome.
Yeah.
It's true. So here's the ladder. Now what's interesting is most people, when they do the ladder, it's up against the cube, because the ladder is your ambitions in life.
Okay.
So normally it's about part of your personality and part of who you are. You're like ladders over there, off on the side of the room.
Okay.
So in a way that's a healthy thing, because in LA, everyone thinks that what they do is who they are. You know, they're always being an actor or a director or a singer. At least you have some separation with your identity from what you do, which is nice. You have really, really big ambitions. That's why your ladder goes up so high, right? Mm-hmm. And you feel you can accomplish it. You said it was easy to climb, but you have some doubts. You know, you got to be aware of ladders.
Right.
You know? So inside, that tells me like some real conflict with your ambition, because not only is it away from your person, but you've also been told to be aware of it. So it's like you want to climb it, but you also feel like, oh, it's wrong to do because I got to be, and I'm really going off on a limb because every person's cube is different. I've never heard the same one, so this one I haven't heard before. But my interpretation would be that you don't really like careers. People are always talking about their career, and that's all they want to do in life because it's kind of robbed them of their soul.
Right.
So you kind of you want to do it, you want to climb it, you want to go there, but you don't want to do it for egotistical reasons. You want to do it for the right reasons. It almost kind of hampers you from getting up there because it really is about your own journey. That's my sort of interpretation. What do you think of that? Does that make sense a little bit?
It makes sense a little bit. The only reason that I've sort of put the ladder, and I went just by a ladder, is because I'm scared of heights a little bit. That's the only reason that I'm scared of ladders.
Right, but it might be a metaphor in your life.
Right, yeah, my.
So, and by the way, when you're talking and describing these things, you can see that when you're talking about something that's pretty accurate, like she'll nod like that. When you don't, she'll stop a little bit. And that's something you can watch for your responses. So there's a cold reading technique where any yes equals and, no equals but. So in other words, well, yes, you're scared of heights, but that may be a metaphor for your life. The horse. This was what's really interesting. The horse is your ideal man. Do you notice that at first, when she described the horse, the second time she called the horse a he? Which was kind of cool. Yeah, the first time you said it, the second time you said he. And so your ideal man, and it's not necessarily anyone you've been with before, or your type, it's your subconscious is ideal. That's why once you hear the cube, you can never do it again, because now you know what all the images mean. So the horse is your ideal man. So it's nice, it's healthy because the man is looking at the cube. You want someone who focuses their attention on you. And you don't want someone who's needy. You want someone who's stable. They're strong, they're calm, they're aware of their surroundings, but they're just chilling. Right. You want someone who's really easy to be with and to chill with, and who kind of going to look at you and be a life partner. And I don't know the kind of people you dated before, the kind of people you think you want, but what your subconscious ideal is this guy who can just roll and he can hang and he is calm and he's chill and strong. That's cool, isn't it? Other people, one person was an actress who I did it with once, and her horse was tied to her ladder. So I'm like, well, that tells me what you're looking for. You want someone who can get you up that ladder.
Oh, that's great.
And a friend of mine's girlfriend once, she said she'd never been in love before. And so I'm like, okay, we got to do your cube. And we did it, and her horse was a unicorn. Right. You want someone who's really easy to be with and to chill with, and who kind of going to look at you and be a life partner. And I don't know the kind of people you dated before, the kind of people you think you want, but what your subconscious ideal is this guy who can just roll and he can hang and he is calm and he's chill and strong. That's cool, isn't it? Other people, one person was an actress who I did it with once, and her horse was tied to her ladder. So I'm like, well, that tells me what you're looking for. You want someone who can get you up that ladder.
Oh, that's great.
And a friend of mine's girlfriend once, she said she'd never been in love before. And so I'm like, okay, we got to do your cube. And we did it, and her horse was a unicorn. I'm like, see, you're looking for something that doesn't exist. Childhood fantasy. Is that sad? But yours is good. Yours is really healthy. And your storm is good too. Your storm is the problems in your life and how they affect you. And so you won't see your problems like from a distance. You're like, I'm outside the window looking at the storm. So you're able to, and I don't know this, but I'm going to let the cube, you're able to, if you have a problem, detach yourself and see it from a distance and figure out what needs to be done to solve it. Yep. And some people get super dramatic and there's a problem that just fucks up their whole life and they're totally neurotic, even if it's a little thing. Like they forgot to pay their gas bill that week. They're gonna start screaming at their boyfriend, it's gonna fuck up their life. They have violent storms that fuck shit up. Your storm is gentle, and you're watching it from the outside, and you're figuring out how to deal with it through the window, so you can step back from yourself and take a look at your life, which is cool and healthy. Okay. So that's your cube.
That's cool.
Yeah, isn't it cool? And on 1 to 10, what do you rate the accuracy?
Maybe like an 8. Yeah, certain things, 8, 9.
8, 9, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Before you leave, we're going to put you in a Pen 15 club. All right, does someone have a pen? You guys know the Pen 15 club? It's what, if somebody gets something right or they're really smart, you put them in the Pen 15 club. Give me your hand. The other side. Pen 15 club. Congratulations. Show them the Pen 15 club. Can you guys see it? It's just a second grade joke. No, it says penis, guys. That's all.
I didn't even get it.
I know. It's my handwriting. It's just a dumb joke. I couldn't help it. Everything that was funny in second grade is funny again. You can watch that off later. But thanks.
All right.
You'll take the pen. Come over here for a sec. Sit down.
Okay. You're not going to put in the
No, I'm going to do something better. You guys know the mouse race story? It's a fun story, a nice, fun little DHE story, the mouse race. Give me your hand.
Okay.
Like this. There was a story. There were 3 mice, and they were having a race. There's a blind mouse, a dumb mouse, and a deaf mouse. And they're having a race. Just a fun story, cool little story. So here's the blind mouse. Just tell it when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. The dumb mouse.
Stop.
The deaf mouse.
Stop. 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 Okay.
All right. Everything. Here, you can have your pen back now. So anyway, everything that was funny in 2nd grade is funny again. And all those little things, you know, you're not going to do 5 of them in a row like I'm doing. You're only going to do 1 in a set. Only do 1 of these. Once you do a bunch, you're the weird uncle. When you do 1, it's just kind of a funny neg. You've just drawn over this girl who spent all her time getting ready for the night. You've now drawn penis in her hand, and you drew up her arm, and it's funny. She got tricked or got. And it's a fun little thing. Just throw it in if you're bored. It's just a little piece. You know, Fork was saying yesterday he runs out of things to do. You run out of things, say, hey, I got to tell you the story about the mouse race. Funny little story. There's a blind mouse, a dumb mouse, and a deaf mouse. Here, give me your arm. And bam, you do it. And sometimes if I have a wing, I'll go out and I'll already have it pre-written on his arm. And he'll say, you know what, he got you. Guess what, he got me too today. So it's just a fun little game to play. And again, just throw 1 in. So you guys got the cube. You've got these games. I'm going to give you one more thing before you go out and try them on them. I'm going to teach you Styles EV, which is a great way to elicit values. It's funny too, like, have you guys ever had dog jaw before? What? Dog jaw? Feel that right there. It's stupid, but you know what? Just keep them in your pocket. Just bust out one when you want to. Okay, styles of listening values. This one's actually a serious one. Who don't I know that well? You're kind of quiet, wise guy. Come in, or you know what? I'll do it with one of the girls. They're cuter. I do this. This is something I do it's the best way there is to get to know somebody. It's called eliciting values. And when I learned about NLP and speech seduction, they always talked about eliciting values, which is talking to somebody and saying, what do you like in a guy? You know, what are the qualities you find most, you know, and really just drawing out. And it just seems so needy asking all these questions to find out what their values are. So I sort of turned it into a 3-question routine. And it's a great thing, and I do it in every interview because it really gets to the bottom of what somebody's about and what they're really on this planet for. And a nice way to get into it is, in LA, some people always ask you what you do for work or what you do, right? And people just think that what they do is who they are. They're a director or they're a whatever they are, and they never forget they're just a human being at some level, right? And I chose you because you were interesting. We had I met you for the first time last night. We had an interesting conversation. You're different than a lot of the people in the club, and we're proud of that fact. So that's why I chose you, because this is a good way to find out what you're about a little bit. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and they're really simple questions, and just answer them honestly. That's all.
Okay.
And better body language. Cross your legs to warm me. Good. Okay. So first, I wasn't doing that to be obnoxious. It just always bothers me if the legs are crossed away. So first question is, what?
No, nothing. That's just funny.
If you had to choose one thing you need to have in your life in order to feel like life is worthwhile, what would that be?
Well, for me, I honestly, religion.
Religion?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So you need to have religion in your life. And if religion is in your life, what kinds of things does that allow you to do and experience?
Makes me feel grounded. It allows me to deal with anything that comes my way, I think.
Okay, cool. So, and how do you feel? Do you feel like you have it in your life now, or to some degree?
No, it's good.
It could always get you
Yeah.
right. So let's just say, at some point in the future, you've got religion in your life.
Yeah.
In the exact way that you want it to be there, fully, without conflict, and it grounds you. It allows you to do all the things you want to do and more.
Yeah.
And it even creates all the relationships around you and makes them all perfect because everything's in, sync.
Yeah.
And you have that religion. Go ahead.
It's kind of like just the rules I live by,
Right. So imagine you had that perfect scenario of religion in your life and allowing you to do the things you want to do.
Okay.
Right? So imagine that fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay. And what if you had to what I'm trying to think of the question. How would that make you feel inside if you had that? What would be the feeling you'd get?
Just I guess absolute happiness.
Absolute happiness.
Right.
Okay. Be a feeling of absolute happiness. So that's your core, is that feeling of absolute happiness. You gave the word happiness to it because you don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But as you said it, you had that little feeling inside, didn't you?
Yeah.
I could see that. We fulfilled your life goal in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You can die now. It's all over.
Okay.
No, but the point is The point is, like, she gave it a word like absolute happiness, but what it really is just this feeling that she doesn't have words for, really, but you know the feeling.
Yeah.
But absolute happiness, that's what they call your core value. Religion, as important as religion is to you in your life, is just your path to absolute happiness. Sometimes you can get that absolute happiness from a guy, sometimes from a work or what you're doing, sometimes from a physical activity. And so your core value, what you're really after in life, is that absolute happiness feeling.
Yeah.
Right, so if you have to make a decision in your life, here's the lesson, and I'll charge you $5 after this, but with a quick, like, 5-minute therapy. But, by the way, don't you know a lot more about her than you did before? I mean, it really is the key to who you are, is searching for that. So if you have to figure out, make a decision about a guy, a job, moving, anything, you think, what brings me closer to that absolute happiness feeling? What brings me further away? Whatever brings you closer is the right kind of thing. So that's kind of eliciting values. And the steps for it are, 3 questions are, what was the first one? If you had to choose one, if you had to choose one thing in your life that you needed to have in order to make life worthwhile, what would that be? And so X equals, if you had to choose one thing in life that would make life worthwhile, what would it be? Sometimes you might not get someone as smart as Regan. You'll get a very, happy-go-lucky, ADD type of girl. If that question is too abstract for them, just say, what do you like doing? That's a simple version. So X equals either what do you like doing, or if you had to choose one thing in your life in order to make life worthwhile. Next question. So Y equals, if X, what kinds of things would that allow you to do? And again, if you get the A. But we'll try it with you, since you have kind of big, expressive eyes. But ignore everything I just said. Pretend like you didn't hear it. There's a fun game called the line game. And don't listen. What you do, what you do is you look for a variance in her eye movement. So watch her eyes when she's thinking, and one will be a variance, and that's the lie. Okay, you got that? And you'll tell everybody else in the group that. You probably heard that anyway. No. You didn't? Okay. All right. So relax. Ignore everything I just said. Do you have a sibling, like a brother or sister? Mm-hmm. You do? So what I want you to do is this. Think about 5 things about a brother or sister. Is it? Sister. Think about 5 things about your sister, okay? Mm-hmm. Let me sit over here so I'm more on your level. All right, think about 5 things about your sister, okay? Mm-hmm. And when I say 1, think the first thing. Don't think them in advance. 2, think the second thing. 3, think the third thing. 4, think the fourth. You're following me? No. Okay. Think about 5 things about your sister. Yes. Don't think them in advance. When I say 1, think the first thing. Okay. And I'll cue you for each one. Okay? So don't think them in advance. You ready? And make one of them a lie. 1, think the first thing.
One of them, just...
Anyone. Okay. Yeah. You got the first thing? Uh-huh. 2, think the second? Uh-huh. 3, think the third?
Okay. Okay.
I know, I know the heat's on you, the camera's on you.
I'm trying to see where my eyes are.
Yeah, ignore it. Usually you're not going to tell them about axes and keys before you do this.
Okay.
4, think the fourth thing? They're all lies. I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to scrap that game because you're too self-conscious. We're going to play a different game. This is the line game number Mach 2. By the way, which one was it?
I don't know. I got confused.
I know you did. They were all lies. After the first one was true, and the rest were all lies.
Keep track of what I was thinking before. So
I know. It made you too self-conscious. Usually you don't tell them about eye movements before you do it. Yeah. So if someone new walks in the room. But generally, by the way, what you do is you'll play it with the group. You tell everybody else but the person doing it to watch for a variance in their eye movements. Okay. And it's so cool because you can just think a lie, and everybody will know it. And it's so cool you don't even have to say it.
So when you think a lie, which way do you look?
All you have to look is for a variance in the pattern. So for years, for example, for each thing when you thought a real thing, you look up and to the right. When you're lying, either you go up and to the left, or your eyes would kind of swim around in your head as you're looking for the lie. Because I think you'd be very obvious to tell.
Unless you're a really good liar.
Some people are good liars.
Some people are really good and they can just look at
you. Yeah. Exactly. And then you definitely don't want to date that person.
I could do it, but see, when we were talking about that, then I'm like...
I know, it made you too self-conscious. I know. So we're going to play a different line game. You know what? We'll take the heat off you guys. Why don't you go lie to us? Tell us 3 things you did today and make one of them a lie.
Okay.
And don't say had dinner, because...
Should I do 3 things today? All right. I went to Starbucks, I went for a walk, and I talked to my mom.
Okay, what time did you talk to your mom at?
11.
Cool. How long did you talk for?
About 20 minutes.
What was she doing when you talked to her?
She was driving my sister.
What did you talk about?
We didn't, like, nothing. Just my mom.
Okay. What time did you go to Starbucks?
About 11:45.
What did you order there?
We got the chai lattes.
What was the third thing you said?
The third thing I said was,
Anyway, the way the other way, the really foolproof way to tell a lie is you blitz them with fast questions. You know, what time did you talk to your mom? What did you say? What was she doing at the time? How long was the conversation for? It doesn't even matter what the questions are. You blitz them with fast questions, and they're going to stumble like she just did, you know, on the third thing. So, and this is a great thing just to know for life. And you know, like when you go to airport through the security, they say, you know, what do you do for work? What were you doing when you were visiting here? How long were you staying here? They don't care about your, in customs.
what was the third thing that I said? You went on a walk.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
But I was going to say, yeah, but I was going to say, where'd you walk? How long did you walk for? And you would have stumbled. But it's okay. You're such a bad liar that you couldn't even remember it. Yeah. So when you go to customs, like they'll ask you these questions really quickly, and they don't care about your answers. They're waiting for you to trip up. So besides eye movements, you're looking for whether they break eye contact, and you're also looking for when they trip up on things. And so not only is this fun skills in the field, but they're like good life skills, especially once you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or in your case, a boyfriend. There's a book. It's funny. I interviewed Carly Simon, the singer, and I was telling her we were talking about lies, and I learned this in a book called Never Be Lied to Again. I think the author's David Lieberman or something. And she called me 2 weeks later. She's like, I bought that book. I loved it. I'm like, well, what'd you get out of it? She's like, I actually didn't read it. I bought 15 copies and I gave them to all my friends. And now they're not going to lie to me again because they know what I'm up to. Isn't that cool? Anyway, thank you guys for being such good sports. I'll let you guys take off and continue teaching the boys. Okay, cool. You're like, get me out of here. Thank you. That was fun. I didn't expect actually to use you guys as guinea pigs so much, but you were such good sports. Thank you. So the point of that last bit is not just about the routines, but it's about controlling the interaction, right? I went to do her I-axis and cues, and she was too self-conscious and couldn't do it. So what did I tell you about calibration? She can't do it. Cut the thread, stop after 3, say, okay, we'll try something entirely different. And then we're going to choose you and do it. And then you did it badly, so we're going to play it with you. And we still get to play the game. Everybody gets to be involved, and it's fun. Because the interaction worked, even though the actual routines didn't work as they were sort of scripted. And that's what's going to happen in the field. And all that matters is a fun, playful interaction that everybody enjoys. And it was an enjoyable interaction, And so it didn't really matter. Don't get flustered if the routine doesn't go as scripted or as planned. As long as they're enjoying the interaction, that's what's counting. You say you do an illusion, you totally fuck it up. Doesn't matter as long as they enjoy the interaction, right? That's your real goal. It's fun to make mistakes. So what? You're not a magician. You're not a, you're not a police detective or a, CIA agent who detects lies for a living. You're just having a fun interaction. So I think when you watch it back, watch the way the set was controlled to keep people from getting out of hand, to keep the interaction still working and to stay dominant, to keep your frame dominant. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, I'm going to teach you, see if I have any other DHVs, but those seem pretty good for now. Oh yeah, I'm going to teach you some really good shit. Is Craig around? He's outside. I'm going to grab Craig. I'm going to teach you guys one more powerful thing. It's part of the Black Mirror technique, which I told you guys about. So far, do you guys feel like you have enough DHVs to go out into the clubs and do it? Yeah?
Especially if you only want us to really use one per set.
Yeah. Yeah, you just use one DHV and one or two fun games per set.
You read through these, and there's so many out there.
Right. Right. And you see the structure of how you can look for them yourself. Anything that's interesting to you or interesting to your friends is interesting to everybody else, So you were running out of material yesterday. Do you think you'll run out of material today with all this? I mean, you guys talking to this girls for 20 minutes. So I'm going to borrow Craig, and we're going to teach you the next piece. You have the cube, and you have eliciting values. You have all these fun games I taught you. I'm going to teach you some other DHVs. The best friends test, which I think I told you a little bit about in the car, how to do the best friends test. The only reason I didn't do the best friends test before was because I figured those girls had heard them before, because you guys met some of them last night. Simply the best friends test is, you were saying the other night, where do I go after I've done my opener and I've done my, how do you all know each other bit. You pretend as if you're about to leave. You say, I got to ask you guys something. How long have you guys known each other for? How many guys did the best friends test? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you all did it. So I'm going to give it to you again so you know it, because I got to ask you guys something. How long have you known each other for? And they'll say whatever, a year, a month, 10 years. So I could totally tell, because best friends, I'll tell you what, rather than explain it to you, I'll give you the best friends test. For some reason, test is like this magical word, and people like always respond to test. So I'll give you the best friends test. Quick question. Do you guys both use the same shampoo, yes or no? And as you say that, they'll both start to look at each other. As soon as they do, you just kind of wave your hand in front of their faces, say, never mind, I got the answer. They're like, but we haven't told you yet, we don't use the same shampoo. Doesn't matter, you passed. Here's how I could tell. Best friends, they'll always look at each other before they say something. It's almost if like a psychic connection. They'll look at each other first, then they'll talk to you. And people who have no connection at all, they'll keep eye contact the whole time. And that's how you can tell. And the other funny thing, another little subtlety, is watch and see if one girl looks at the other girl first. The girl who looks at the other one first is more passive in the relationship because she's looking at the other one for the answer, right? So actually, I forgot to do something before we start again. I want to see how well you guys did the mnemonic yesterday. What's his name?
AJ, Joseph, Riker.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy, man? Shit works, right? And I was just going to add one other piece to what Hypnotica / Rasputin and Steve P / Steve D were saying, which is, just finding out in general what makes you happy. I kind of figured this out, and it has nothing to do with pickup. But along the course of learning this, I realized, like, some days you go out and you have your inner game, other days you go out and you don't, and you just feel like crap. I realized what makes me happy is something really simple. I think this is true for everybody. Every day I got to do something physical, right? Working out, swimming, taking a hike. It doesn't have to be to get big muscles like Hypnotica. It just has to be to make yourself feel good, like you've done something physical. I also have to do some work. If I don't get work done, I don't do some writing, I feel like crap. You got to do a little bit of work every day. If I don't do something social, I got to go out and interact, whether you're talking about the bars or the yoga class, or I think the best place, I told them, to meet women is the makeup counter. You go to get some makeup done, they never see guys. I've never sat there without leaving with the phone number of a beautiful, intelligent woman. So I got to do something social, and I got to do something for the mind, something intellectual or contemplative. And I know, like, if my day's in balance, and I've done something physical, social, work, and intellectual or contemplative, I know I'm good to go. And I also made a more detailed list, a really small thing of like what makes me happy. Really simple things. Writing good articles and books. Learning new things that make me a better, more well-rounded person. The love of the opposite sex, and surfing or working out or doing something outdoors and physical. So when you're done or during a break, just write down the 4 things you need that make you happy in the day. And if you're doing that for yourself, you can go out and be centered in yourself, like Hypnotica was talking about. Really simple stuff, man, because everything counts. Women are so intuitive, they pick up at everything. And that's when people give me shit about, this is some kind of pickup manual, what are your pickup lines? It's just such a load of shit, because everything you do that will make you a better person is going to make you a more attractive person. What are everything that women like generally make you a better person. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. They're going to come back and do some cool shit with you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce you guys to the main man in the game. The guy who really, literally changed my life. The moment I took his first workshop and put my cash money in an envelope, and met some guy I'd heard about online named Mystery at the Roosevelt Hotel downtown. I still remember him walking in. I was nervous, and see, my voice cracked when I said that. How nervous I was when he walked in the room, and this all-powerful guy who was living the lifestyle of a rock star without being a rock star came in there, and he sat me down and just exploded with these ideas. And